I'm Marcus Richardson.
And I'm Nathan Hicken.
We just finished the Moonshine Exhibit, and what a blast. It's time for our post-show discussion. Nathan, this was so cool.
Oh, what a wild ride. This was so fun to write and so fun to put you through, so...
There were puzzles. There were like what I called quick time events. There was a lovable sidekick and a devastating ending.
Yeah. Harley was so much fun to be as in this and to incorporate into the mystery as well. So
absolutely. So tell me more about this. What were your primary inspirations for this mystery?
Okay, so I had two main primary inspirations. So we'll talk about a couple things. So first of all, Agatha Christie. I'm a big Agatha Christie fan, and so Murder on the Orient Express is like peak Agatha Christie. And so taking something like that, like a classic train mystery, but also steampunk. So that inspiration came from Professor Layton, which I'm also a huge fan. I know, Marcus, you are a huge fan as well.
Yes.
So Professor Layton also played a strong influence in this, in like the idea of an outlandish plot, a mummy's curse, a ghost brought back to life, but also we're still working with a murder and a mystery. So
yeah,
some rules are still in place. So a couple little Easter eggs that I sprinkled in there. So all the names, besides Henry Shoemaker, come from Agatha Christie characters.
I recognized Aykroyd.
Yes, the murder of Roger Ackroyd. Why didn't they ask Evans? Madame Christie, obviously Agatha Christie. But all of them come from different various characters, Hastings, and whatnot. The times on the clock, so you wondered why they were so specific. They're like, how do you get a 24? Well, because those are the three, I believe, international release dates for the first three Professor Layton games, because, I just thought that was a little fun detail to put in there.
Madman. So, you absolute madman. What? That is... Wow.
Yeah.
Game recognized game. That's so cool. No one would have ever known.
Nope. But that's just fun for me. So, like, initially, this exhibit changed the most from test play to actual run through. So, I mentioned this a couple times after we recorded, but this exhibit was initially a lot bigger than it was, right? So initially I also had this huge Western element coming in, and the airship was going to crash at a ghost town. So there's going to be this like Western vibe to it, but it just got a little too big. So I'm still toying with that idea, but it helped me compact it a lot and focus more on Harley and his interactions with the people there. So I was very excited for you to be able to play with ghosts and with the compass and all these other little elements. So yeah.
Yes, it was exactly what I love about your mysteries and genre mysteries in general, which is you have a new set of rules to play by, but they are still rules.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it was just so fun that there were those kind of more mystical elements, but there's still logic to all of it. I gotta say, I'm just really impressed. I always think it's so cool when you can fit in like a twist, like a twist that is foreshadowed, and yet I was clueless, like I don't know how long it was that I was like, oh, you worked for the mayor.
Right.
So it was so cool because the moment where I was like, oh, I realized I could have figured this out earlier. And again, I think it shows restraint on your part to like let me stumble into it later. Because that makes it feel even more of like, of course, why didn't I see that?
Yeah.
Which is fun.
And it was fun to see you like kind of logic it out and also go with your guesses to Harley, because Harley can be like, oh, that sounds familiar, but not quite right. And also your role in all of this too. That was fun to be like, oh, you've been part of this from the beginning. This is why you're here. This is why you summon the mayor.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I thought that was really cool. What a great cold open as well. Like you're just passed out and there's a ghost in front of you being like, you tell me why I'm here. And I'm like, no, you tell me why I'm here.
You Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so
That was
fun.
extremely cool. I mean, steampunk in general is a genre that's sort of dedicated to rule of cool. Don't think too hard about like
Yes.
the aesthetics of it all. It's like, why is that parrot wearing a monocle? Don't ask
Don't think too
that
hard.
question.
Yeah.
Why should you be sad about that? It's great.
Exactly.
Hey, what was I supposed to get from Sheila? Was there anything I missed there?
That was pretty much all you could get from Sheila. Sheila basically overheard Cyan saying, "I know who you really are." The mayor screams, "Dead." Thus,
Okay,
um,
that makes sense.
yeah, there was the moose and the octopus and
The moose.
the wolf. So the parachute in the display case has a lock on it, and I would have
I
sent.
didn't even look.
You just smash. I was like, that's totally fair. You smash it. But I would have sent you an image with the dial and then a picture of a moose, a little sketch of a moose, a little sketch of a wolf, a little
Would
sketch.
it spell something?
It would spell
there was an R and an M.
MOR, which is Moonshine, Oregon.
Nice. I'm also, something really fascinating to me is it would appear in each of your mysteries, you kind of, or at least the two most recent ones, there's this like, if you didn't solve this mystery, it would have been unsolved because there's this catastrophic event at the end of it. That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
And it gives like, I don't think we definitely haven't over the air fleshed this out, but it makes me think that there's a lot of the museum murders that the reason that they were unsolved is just because they ended disastrously. So like no one had the chance, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I had that like planned off the beginning because like when you first walk into the exhibit, right, it says like the missing moonshine. So initially, when this tragedy happened, the moonshine crashed somewhere in the Oregonian wilderness. They weren't able to recover it. No one knows what happened, and it just got lost to time. But because you were there, you solved it. You delayed the crash that Cyan had planned. You interrupted her when she was filming with the camera. By the way, that's what she was rigging it.
Right. Then
So-
that was a really cool thing to because like when you said she pulls the camera, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, she was doing something over here."
Yeah. But yeah, so you delayed it enough so that you were at Moonshine basically when it went off.
So would she have made it crash then?
She would have if you were not there, she would have made it crash earlier, much earlier. So pretty much
Gotcha.
as soon as she finished the cello piece. But
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Another thing that I commend you on is sometimes I feel like I'm a little smart boy when I can call story beats before they happen, which really is not that impressive, but I really commend you on, even though there were all these parachutes and I was like, this is going to be important. Clearly, you still caught me off guard when she was like, and that will happen now. That was delightful. Like I was planning on a crash, which I am still counting on. That was very fun.
Yeah.
This is so fun to end a mystery with not just a denouement, but like something happens.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
And I wanted that kind of emotional beat with like Harley too, because you've only known Harley since he's been dead, and so like that's all Harley really knows now, and so now he's reconciling with the fact that he was bad, not the greatest person as a mayor, wasn't the kindest person, but he's like, yeah.
My whole bit about we can't say bad things about listeners of the podcast really was at odds with your intended characterization of that character. So it was funny to me because in a way I never really bought it when he was like, I just wasn't a great mayor. I was like, psh, you're great. I keep saying you're great. I think you're great.
Yeah, Harley's delightful.
Yeah. I hope we hear from our listener Henry.
Yeah.
I want to know how like is this a good thing? Is this a travesty? Have we drug his name through the dirt? I can only assume it's an honor.
Yes, only an honor. One other thing. So you've learned a little bit more about Genevieve. she asked you to get this compass for her. You've also heard, or sorry, not this compass, this amulet, and been able to fiddle around with the compass. You didn't. I have beats written in for what happens at every few, like from 30 seconds on, every 5 seconds, what happens as you keep using this compass. So
you're saying past 53.
Past 30 seconds. So at 30 seconds, things start to happen. At 53, something really happens. 54 plus, yeah. So there are rules by which that compass, the moratoria, works.
Okay. So you're saying that the like red around the vision, that was not you're close to 54. That's a very specific thing happening.
Yes, something's happening around 30 seconds. Reddish haze creeping in. You're getting a little bit of static. And then, yeah. So we'll play with more of that stuff and some future stuff. So
man, so I can't just ask you what the deal with that was?
I can tell you. You can cut this if you want, but I can tell you what happens at the second marks if you want.
Nah, hold on to it.
Yeah.
It seems like this is going to pop up in future mysteries that I'm doing that you're narrating, yes?
And most certainly. I have the next 3 exhibits planned out.
Again, you mad lad.
So
what a guy. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Is there anything else about this exhibit that you didn't get to kind of reveal?
Ooh, yeah. So one more thing about the radio. So you had the radio frequency at 198.7, that was Genevieve. So you also had the 4-digit code to open the sarcophagus at the end. If for whatever reason, so there's
81.24,
81.2.4. You can plug that into the radio too, and you would have gotten the following message. Mayor Shoemaker, is that you? Hello, Mayor. I've been waiting on the line like you asked. How was the acquisition? Is the amulet on it? You said you're going to check once you're on the ship. Have you been followed? I've sent Flora into the mines like you asked, and you were right, just like you said. Please tell me you've got the mummy.
Interesting. Flora into the mines?
Sent Flora into the mines.
Is this going to be a future exhibit?
Mayhaps.
Oh, that's very exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, and any other details? Was that the main thing on your mind?
That's the main thing. So there's a little bit more you could dig into, like why the mayor wants the mummy in the first place. So like he's bringing in tourists to the town, but also people will confirm that there seems to be a personal reason that he wants this here. So thus, you figure onyx ring. The onyx ring, you figure that out, but that's just a warding against spirits. So that's Mayor was worried about the spirit of the mummy messing with him or whatnot. I was so worried that I was accidentally going to slip and call Harley the mayor, like this whole time. There was a couple times I was so close, and I started and I was like, the man. You caught one of them, and I was like, yes, sir. There's also Sheila the parrot says, Mayor. I wrote that down. I said that. I meant to write Harley,
and I'd never caught on. That's dope. That's fun.
So, also Layton Auction House, obviously Professor Layton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm so proud of you for catching on to the sneaky sundial thing right off the bat. You're like, that painting. Let's take a look at that. I was like, oh yeah, he's got it.
Oh, thanks. I catch on to certain things very tightly, and occasionally they're the wrong things. Occasionally there's a moose when I should be looking at literally the number printed on the radio.
Chroma Mix 1200.
Ah, boy.
I think that also we've recorded these over the span of like 5 nights. So had you solved it in one night, that probably would have been a little fresher on mine. So.
Yeah, that would also be a ridiculous night, a long night.
Yeah, I'm also impressed that you caught Nicholas's name and then you latched onto that as Mooney's real name. Because I threw that in there once, and you wrote it down and you got it. I was like, Dang.
Yeah, well, Nathan, I don't have great notes, but if I have one theme, I wrote down people's names. It didn't even help me. Most of the time, I tripped up on who was who, but still.
Man.
So, I'm glad I wrote that down. That was good.
Also, sorry, one more thing. I'm impressed that you caught on with the music puzzle with the piano. That you got the melody right away, and I was like, brilliant. That's awesome. That was a fun one to write.
Absolutely. So. I'm such a fan of music puzzles, and especially you wrote original music for this exhibit. Like, I mean, I do that every time, but
yes.
I apply. not every time. I'm just joking, but that is so incredible. I love the mixed media stuff because it's surprising. I did not know. I listened to that entire song thinking it was going to cut away to like some talking or a clue or something. Like I listened through to the end thinking it was going to be like some recording, and then I got to the end and I still didn't know exactly what to do with it. So I just, oh man, so fun. This was an absolute blast, Nathan. You're so good at this. It was so fun.
Oh, thank you so much for playing. That was so fun to have you as the detective. Oh, I'm
awesome.
Delightful.
Well, the next exhibit will be my turn again.
Ooh.
And
do you want to give us a little teaser?
Yes, this is going to be the hard-boiled exhibit.
Well, that sounds more exciting than riding a bull through a shooting range.
All right, sir. Harley is dead. Give some respect to the dead.
I'm trying to respect him in the way that he'd want. I think he'd want his Harley-isms to be passed on.
That's true. Rest in power. So, one note about it. So, as I'm still, working on it, but it definitely skews more towards the detective stuff rather than, the puzzly, the puzzle box stuff. So it'll be really interesting to contrast these two different things. And maybe moving on, I'll decide, I want to do more of what the Moonshine exhibit was versus whatever.
Yeah.
But do you want to tease anything about your, scheduled next 3 mysteries? Do you have a name for your next one?
I have a tentative name, but I don't know if I want to share it because I might change it. But it's very different vibes from this.
Good.
Just a little
Love
teaser. It goes more Scooby-Doo.
Let's go. Oh, man. I wanted to do a Scooby one for you, but if you beat me to it, you beat me to it.
You'll see. This is not your traditional every day, so we'll see when that happens, but you'll see it.
I'm excited. As always, it's a pleasure. Thanks, friend, for a wonderful time.
Thank you for playing.
And thank you so much to the listeners, especially Henry.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for being willing to come on this journey with us. It's been a blast. So
absolutely. And if you guys would like to be featured as characters in our upcoming mysteries, please leave us a review or support the show. My next case, I actually plan to have all of the characters named after different listeners. So you can look forward to that. I know we made a joke about we'll always have one character, but this next one, it's all going to be you guys. So hopefully you win the roulette of a good, fun character and not one of the dirtbag characters. But I'm going to use your names.
Oh yeah. That'll be fun. Okay. Until next time.